All right, everyone. Okay, everyone. We are here. We are live. Welcome, everyone, to this Red Room live show. Can everyone hear me properly? Can someone just put it in the chat if you can hear me properly, please? Thank you all for being here. All of you, Emmanuel, I see you guys here. George, I see you, Foster. I see your royal bloodline. I see you guys here. Can you guys hear me? Can somebody type it in the chat? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me there? Awesome. Thanks, Emmanuel. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Welcome to this live Red Room. I truly appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to have a great show today. First, before I start, again, I want to wish all my peoples happy Independence Day. To all my Nigerians out there, I know you guys are celebrating depending on what part of the world you're in. I know you guys are celebrating and I join with you. Happy Independence Day. You know, it's a good day for us. It's always a great time when we can celebrate our Independence Day. Okay, forget all the naysayers or whatever everyone's got to say. You know, it's a good thing. And so we're doing that today, and we're excited about that. You know, we know we got work to do, but who does it? Right? Who doesn't got work to do? Everyone's got work to do. No one is perfect out here. Don't believe it. Do not believe it. All right? And we are crushing it out here. Okay, so we're here to discuss what's going on with Ghana. Okay? Ghana is officially bankrupt. Let me throw that out there. And I want to go over that. I'm going to be giving you guys, I'm just going to be real. This is the Red Room, everyone. This is the Red Room. So I'm going to be having a series of these live shows because this is an opportunity for me to just kind of engage with all of you there, you know. So I've got my mods in the chat. So thank you for really helping to moderate the chat. I will do my best to really look at the chat as often, but I want to just concentrate on the show. So I have my mods out there helping with to really regulate the chat. You know, if I see a comment, you can get my attention by supporting the show. So if you send a super chat, I am going to read that. Those are the ones that I'm going to be reading. That's how you will get my attention. But I want to just get right into the show because I've got quite a lot to cover. And let's get to it. If at any point I lose signal or you can't hear me for whatever reason, just let me know. I'll try to do my best to work this whole thing out. But I'm going to be doing a lot of these live shows because, as I said, this is a way for me to really engage with you guys. You know, when I do my clip videos, those short videos are more structured videos. There's a particular topic and I want to deal with that topic and I go for it. But live sessions like this, live videos allow me to just really engage with you guys, to really talk with you guys, to really have a good conversation with everyone. So let me see here. So that's what we're doing today. Anyhow, hopefully you guys are doing great. All right, hopefully everyone is doing great. It's been a good day for me today. I've just been working. It's been back-to-back videos for you all. I do my best to give you guys context. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this thing because I want to get right into it. All right, I want to get it. So Ghana is officially bankrupt. There is this was broken by the news was broken by New York Times, which broke the news and was carried by other publications. And I'm going to read you the version of the New York Times. I'm not going to read everything. You can find this information online. It's essentially out there. So Patrice Cohen from the New York Times broke this story on September 18th. So it's very brand new. And it says, crisis and bailout. The torture cycle stalking nations in debt. So it says the government of Ghana is essentially bankrupt and has turned to the International Monetary Fund for the 17th time since 1957. Okay, so that's the IMF. It goes right here. Say Emmanuel Cherry, the chief executive of an association of Ghana's construction companies. He sat in a cafe at the edge of Accra's Children's Park near the derelict Ferris wheel and Kittle train as he tallied up how much money government entities owe thousands of contractors. Now, before the interest, he said, the back payment add up to 15 billion cedis, which is roughly $1.3 billion. Now, most of the contractors are home, Mr. Cherry says. Their workers have been laid off. They've not been paid. Okay, these are contractors in Ghana. Like many others in the West African countries, the contractors have to wait in line for their money. Now, teacher trainee complained that they were owed 2 months of back pay. Now, independent power producers that have warned of major blackouts are also owed $1.5 billion. The government is essentially broke and bankrupt, he says, after defaulting on billions of dollars owed to foreign leaders in December. The administration of President Nana Akufo-Addo had no choice but to agree to borrow $3 billion loan again from the IMF. Okay, so let's stop right there. You know, I did a video and I predicted this. I did a video 4 months ago, which I want you guys to take a look at, where I predicted this essentially, that this was coming. You see, there have been warning signs that there were countries that were at the brink of bankruptcy. Countries in Africa. Certain countries were at the brink of bankruptcy. Ghana was one of them. South Africa was another one. Tunisia, Egypt. There were a couple of other countries that were at the brink of bankruptcy. And these countries also were predicted to also have civil unrest due to the bankruptcy that might come up. I did a video 4 months ago, and I want you guys to take a listen to what I said in that video. This video was where I talked about and exposed the scam behind the year of return. Yes, I said scam. The year of return was a scam. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So let me bring that video up so you guys can kind of see it. I'm not sure how the sound and the volume is going to go there, but let me see. Let me know if you guys can hear it properly. So I'm going to over here. Let me switch my screen through. Okay. All right. So this is the video right here. The video was well received for most part. And of course, you had the trolls who came and attacked the video for no reason. You know, that was expected. But hold on a second. Went to the. Can you guys hear why they call porn? Let me know if you guys can hear it, okay? Because I want you guys to be able to hear this. Okay. For African Americans to understand why Nigerian. I think you're gonna find the reason why. Because Nigeria. Can you guys hear it? Is the sound coming in clearly? Can someone please tell me if you can hear it? Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Was okay, let's play. Country where 80% of the slaves were taken from. 80% of the slaves that made it through the Atlantic Ocean were all sent to either Jamaica, to England, or to the Americas, United States, in particularly 80% of those slaves. There's an echo. Is that what you guys are saying? There's an echo. Hold on a second, because I don't want that echo. Let's make sure we get rid of that. Let's see here. Okay. You guys are saying there's an echo. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see here. It shouldn't be, but
came from Nigeria. But I'm going to tell you why Nigeria didn't make that call.
You guys still hear it? Is there echo?
The call by the Ghanaian president was an economic strategy. Had nothing to do with the PR that it got. It was for an economic boost to Ghana. Okay, so let's go into it. So Ghana has been experiencing some challenges.
Is this an echo? Can someone tell me, please? Shouldn't be. Were you guys still getting an echo there? Because I'm hearing it fine from my end, but maybe you know how these things are. Still echoing? Okay. Let's see what I'm trying to fix this here. Hold on. I'm not sure. All my settings are gray here, but I'm not sure why you guys can't hear it or why it's echoing. That's crazy. Is this the echoing? Are you guys still hearing an echo? Yeah, is this the echo window? Can't hear it.
Listen to of that.
Okay. So I'm not really sure why you guys are getting an echo, but let me try one thing real quickly. Let me just do something, because I really want you guys to hear it. Okay, so I'm not really sure what's going on. So anyway, let me talk through this whole thing, so that way let me get the show going. But anyway, if you go and watch that video, okay, this video right here, this is where I talked about the whole year of the return. Now, obviously, this video was 4 months ago. It's 58,000 views on these videos, and quite a lot of comments. Now, this video was to expose the entire fraud behind the the whole year of the return, and it was primarily, that was one of the reasons, but also this video was looking out for African Americans. That's why I put that video together, because this video was scamming African Americans. Now, obviously, it's sad that a lot of them did not get it. They were devoid of understanding. They didn't get the reason why I did that video. Most of them did, but a lot of them didn't. And I got a lot of attacks from mostly Ghanaians and African Americans attacking me. And I just had to block all of them. You know, I have about, from that video alone, I had to block about, believe this or not, 384, most of which were African Americans and at least some Ghanaians, attacking me on that video. You know, you would think that video was an attack against the African American community. It was. If anything, I expected Ghanaians to be upset about that. But it was amazing to see that many African Americans upset at that video. And I had to block a lot of them because I don't have the time for that. You know, if you didn't see the wisdom and the fact that that video was looking out for you, then I don't need to hear what you got to say. You got to go away. See, that's one of the problems I have with that community, is that most of them are very devoid of logical reasoning. Because that video was exposing Ghana for what it is. And in that video, I said that Ghana is on the verge of bankruptcy. You should go watch it if you haven't seen it. And I thought about how Ghana had gone to borrow money from the IMF. And now we've just seen they've gone again to go borrow money from the IMF. They're totally flatlined. They broke. They're bankrupt at this point. And that video was to sound a warning to African Americans that, listen, don't go over here because they're on the verge of civil unrest. They're on the verge of bankruptcy. But, you know, the ones that got it. And I truly appreciate the ones that got it, because those are the ones that express their gratitude on the comments sections. And those are the ones that those comments are live today. But the ones that came attacking me, calling me names and all of that, I had to block all of them. You're not going to do that on my platform. You're just not going to do it. You must have lost your mind, right? Because if you're going to disagree with me, and that's okay. But if you start calling me names for no reason, I'm just going to block you, and who cares? Do you understand that? And I'm going to give you a lot more information in this video, why that video was done and what it is that's going on in Ghana. See, what African American community didn't understand was that, and here's another thing that's going on with the year of the return that I'm going to also talk about. In addition to the scam behind that whole year of the return, which essentially, there was no way, as I mentioned in that video, that was going to work. There was no way that whole thing was going to work. For the reasons I gave in that video, and I gave very concrete reasons, which if you watch anyone with logical sense will see that that was a common sense thing. Except those who just came. And then later on, I found out the ones that were attacking me were exactly the ones that were scamming their own people with the Ghanaian government to pull their people into Ghana to scam them using the year of the return. What do I mean by this? So when they announced that in 2019, prior to that, the whole idea of that was to pull African Americans in, as I mentioned in that video, to try to build Ghanaia's economy, because Ghanaia's economy was already flatlined, was already in trouble. And I mentioned in that video that they couldn't go to the IMF anymore because they had flatlined, and they couldn't borrow money from China, which is the truth, because they borrowed too much. What we just read said about, they've gone to the IMF 17 times to borrow money. 17 times. And they've defaulted on their loans several times. The most recent one was last year in December. And that was a sounding bell to our African-American brothers here, that why would you go to a country who's on the verge of bankruptcy? Like, I don't get it. Why would you leave a first world country like the United States and go to a third world country? And not only a third world country, you're going to a country who's on the verge of bankruptcy. I don't get it, right? But nonetheless, I also, in that video, talked about the ones that are actually going there. See, the ones that have sense did not take that. They didn't take the bait. They didn't. They weren't going to move. It's the ones that have this, gripe against the country here in the United States, or aren't doing anything, they're not working. Those are the ones that went over there. But even that, in that situation, why would you put yourself in a very impossible situation to go to a country like Ghana, right? First of all, your ancestors came from there a long time ago, and Ghana was a hub. This is the part that really, Ghana was a hub. Most of the slaves didn't come from Ghana. Ghana was just a transitory pathway for the slaves that came mostly from Nigeria. It was a transitory pathway. So the idea that Ghana was going to now somehow use and call people back home as though most of them were taken from Ghana, it's the most scammy thing out there. But nonetheless, and then out of that came the various people who were online talking about Ghana was giving out free land. Understand that? I mean, you guys have heard this. They were giving out free land to African Americans, which is not true. I've since I did that video, I received quite a few number of people that emailed me thanking me for doing that video. And they gave me a lot of more information that I never was even aware. The whole land thing was a scam. The whole giving away land was a scam. So here's what's going on. On top of the ploy of and I'm going to get to the other stuff I want to talk about. On top of the ploy of this whole, let's bring you back home because your ancestors were taken from Africa years ago, and want you to come home because of the transatlantic slavery that happened 400 or so years ago. All that nonsense, right? On top of that ploy, there was also this money scheme that they were going to use through through the false advertising of so-called land given to Ghanaians. So to African Americans. So many of those lands were given by chiefs in certain part of areas in Ghana. So chiefs of certain villages in Ghana, who supposedly work with the Ghanaian government to say, hey, we're going to give out this part. If you believe that, if you really believe that. But anyhow, they were supposedly chiefs, that were giving out this land. But these lands that most of them were getting were not cleared with the families that really own that land. Most of you from Africa, you guys know what I'm talking about. Land disputes. Land dispute is a huge thing in Africa. Most times, most people go through the extent of clearing lands with family members. You can't register your land when you buy a land. Sometimes you go through a scheme of where someone sells you a land and the whole family that owns the land isn't aware that that land has been sold to you. This is what's going on over there. So there are various chiefs in Ghana giving out lands and properties of families who they have not cleared this with, selling it at upwards of $800, $1,200, $1,500 to African Americans. And these guys are buying it and getting what's called forged certificates, which seems to be real to them, but it's forgery. And it's only when they go and try to register this land in the land registrar office that they find out that this land hasn't been cleared. So that's one instance. The other instance is that some of them that are started building on land start to get harassed by, you guys know, the Omaniles, those type of guys. They get harassed that this land is not yours. And to them, they're thinking, because you don't know the system. You fell for the okie doke. And this is what's going on with our brothers and sisters in Ghana. This is the part they don't want to talk about, because everyone is romanticizing this entire year of the return thing. Now, I'm all for African Americans or British blacks or people, I'm all for that because I'm from Africa. I'm from Nigeria. I'm all for my peoples here to go and learn about their ancestors and where they come from. I'm all for that. What I'm not all for is people scamming people, deluding them on this whole idea of year of the return just so they can get their money and so they can enrich themselves. The only people that got rich off of this are the chiefs and Nana Adolfo-Akol, the Ghanaian president. These were the two people that got rich off of this whole thing. The people now, there's a land dispute in Ghana that a lot of African Americans, and they're so embarrassed to say this. And I can understand this. I can understand because this is their money, their livelihood that is tied to something. Now they're all tied in litigation. There's a dispute in most of this land. There's one particular one, the Pan-African village in Ghana, is one that is involved in this dispute, where the chief over there is selling lands that hasn't been cleared by the family members. And these African Americans who thought this land, they bought this land, who thought that they had this land legitimately. This is a legitimate land. They're excited to start building and investing in their land, are finding out now because they're getting attacked. They're getting people coming with machetes. They're getting people coming with dangerous weapons to attack them in Ghana. You guys are not hearing this. This is what people have told me that have reached out to me. And this is what's going on under the blanket of this so-called year of the return thing. And so that video was to expose that. And it was so sad that I didn't get that many African Americans attacked. Why are you attacking me? I mean, of course, most of them appreciated it. I mean, that video had a lot of great positive comments. Most of my peoples really loved it, shared it. That was a good video. But to find that our African, the ones I'm looking out for, you see, that's the problem right there. Didn't get it. They didn't get it. And I'm like, okay, whatever, man. It's your money. It's your time. I hate that you're going through this. But if you can't listen to people, if you can't listen to someone who is from Africa, trying to warn you about the situation in Africa, I mean, that to me is a common sense, logical reasoning. If you can't listen to someone who's from that continent, who knows a lot more than you, from that continent. Who you listening to? You listen to another one of your own. And here's another part that no one is talking about. A lot of the scams were perpetuated by other African Americans. A lot of those scams were perpetuated by their own very own people who had websites set up, but get land for free in Ghana. Ghana's giving it away for free, whatever. And they lured their own people. They scammed their own people to make a profit in Ghana. They worked with some so-called chief in Ghana. Now, I'm not saying all of the lands were all dirty deals. I'm not saying that at all. There were some of them that were legitimate. But a great deal of a lot of them too, fell in a very shady scheme. And many of them have lost money off of this year of the return to him. Because for the life of me, I don't get it. Why anyone will leave the United States. Most of the people from Ghana are coming up here. Most people from Africa come to the United States. You're going over there. And you're not just finding a country, though, a country that is stable. You're not finding one of those. No, you go find one that is on the verge of bankruptcy. You didn't do your homework. You didn't do your due diligence. You fell for the okie doke. And that's another thing with the community too, is this. And I think that's why the Ghanaian president knew that they could do this with African Americans, because most African Americans, a lot of them, fall for the shiny objects. They really do. They fall for the okie doke, fall for something that seemed to be a trend, and they fell for that. And that's the issue we're seeing. And my heart go out to them. My hearts go out to them. But my advice for that community is, you need to, if it has to do with Africa, sit down and listen to people who are from there. Ask questions from people who are from there. Don't go with your emotional feelings, because you don't know anything about that country. I'm going to tell you about Ghana today. And the reason why Nigeria should not have Ghana. I'm going to tell you why Nigeria should not have Ghana. And I'm going to give you a series of reasons why Nigeria should not. I think most of you are going to agree with me once you hear my reasons behind that. The reason why Nigeria should not have Ghana is because Nigeria over the years have tried to carry Ghana along, but Ghana has proven and have shown that they are not trying to be friends of Nigerians. They're not. Ghana several times have had xenophobia attack against Nigerians. Several times. They had it in 2019 when Nigerians in Ghana were being killed with impunity. These are the same people that we give food to. We power their country. We give them energy. They kill Nigerians with impunity in Ghana. There was a 2019 xenophobia attack that happened in Ghana. It happened also in the middle of the pandemic in 2020. Ghanaians again, xenophobia attack against Nigeria. It happened in 2021. And we saw a little bit of it last year in 2022. This has continued over the years. Now, guess how many times a xenophobia attack has happened against Ghanaians in Nigeria? The answer is none. 0. So these are the ones who are helping. The ones that are killing our people with impunity in their country. Let me ask you a question. Do you know how many Nigerians live in Ghana? Do you know how many Nigerians live in Ghana? Ghana is 32 million in population. Nigeria is 200 and, closely almost 230 right now, million. Do you know how many Nigerians live in Ghana? According to a survey by Statista, 77,000 Nigerians live in Ghana. Do you know how many Ghanaians live in Nigeria? 500,000. There are more Ghanaians in Nigeria, and none of those Ghanaians have ever had their lives threatened, or their businesses, or their shops, or their way of life. None of them have had their livelihood threatened. But Nigerians over there are constantly being harassed by Ghanaians all the time. And these are the people we're supposed to help. They kill us all the time and we send money to them. I don't think so. Because if it happened in this country, I guarantee you'll be cut off. If you attack a U.S. citizen outside of the U.S. citizen in mass number, the way Nigerians have been attacked, there is no aid coming to your country from the United States. Let me give you an example for that. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. When the United States was attacked on 9/11, when the terrorist attack happened on 9/11, where 3,000 plus Americans died at the World Trade Center, that then caused the 20-plus-year war against Afghanistan, which just ended last year under this present administration, the Biden administration. Because of that attack, it cut off aid to Afghanistan, and it declared war in that country. This country does not play. It's an eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. You're not going to kill an American somewhere and say you're sorry and they're going to send you money. It's not going to happen. This is the problem with us. Who's saying mute your mic? I'm hearing mute your mic. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me properly? Is it okay? Am I coming across okay? There are 474 people watching. Please hit the like button. We should have more likes than this. Please hit the like button. Am I coming across okay? Can you guys hear me? All right, thank you. Because of the attack on Americans, you're not going to attack an American citizen anywhere in the world and think you're just going to be moving up businesses. It's not going to happen. They're not going to send you money. They're not going to send aid to you. They'll cut you right off. Why do you think we should do that to anyone that attacks or kill one of our own? What do you think what's that all about? While we're preaching peace and unity, they're preaching violence against our own people and killing our own people with impunity in their country. The other one is South Africa. South Africa is the other one. South Africa is the other one. South Africa right now, there's a xenophobia attack going on in South Africa. There was one that happened in 2019. The same time Ghana was doing their own. They did it in South Africa. There's one going on right now where there's a group called the Operation Dudula in South Africa right now, attacking Nigerians, Zimbabweans, Ethiopians, under the guise that they are illegals in their country, and that is not true. There is a documentary right now on BBC. Believe it or not, the only people that are exposing this right now, of all people, is BBC. Currently going on right now in South Africa. South Africa is another one. They're known to be attacking Nigerians. And I was so proud, I will tell you this, because they've been doing it for so long. I was so proud when I saw my peoples in 2019 in South Africa, in Nigeria, retaliate. You understand? I was so proud to see that, because you can't be killing our people with impunity and at will, because we're very loving and we're very cool people. We don't bother anybody, and people think that they just can dump on us. I was so proud to see Nigerians on the streets going after the Rite Aid shop in Nigeria, attacking and retaliating for what South Africa did against Nigerians in South Africa. Because that's the natural response. Because the reason, if you see, let me tell you about bullies. Because this whole thing is an act of bullying. Let me tell you about bullies. See, a bully will continue to bully you until you stand up to it. There's no bully today on this planet that will bully you continuously and you keep turning the other cheek, thinking one day he or she is going to let up. It's not happening. None of you also who have children and your child comes home and says, I'm being attacked every day at school. My lunch, the lunch you make your child, keeps getting taken by this so-called bully in school. Which one of you are going to tell your child, hey, honey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let him keep taking your lunch. Let him keep taking your snack. Don't worry about it. I'll keep making you a new one. One day he or she is going to wake up. I guarantee none of you are going to do it. Most of you, especially the women, I know you're just going to roll up your sleeves and say, hey, who is beating you at school? You're going to go to school to go confront that bully. And I know some of you fathers, I know my son, if my son ever came home telling me someone is beating him at school every day, I'm going to tell my son, if you come back here with that complaint, you're going to get a spanking. You need to stand up for yourself, because bullies only understand one thing. When you stand up against bully, they will let go. They'll respect you and let go. What you're seeing against Nigerians is just a bully tactics against Ghana and against South Africa. And South Africa, to tell you the truth, South Africa I'm very disappointed with South Africa. Truly disappointed at South Africa, because South Africa has had more help from Nigeria than anybody else. Nigerians have helped South Africa over the years than anybody else. Hold on, let me see if I can let me read some of the things that Nigerians have done for South Africa over the years, especially during the apartheid. These are the people that are forgotten. There's no country in Africa that has done more for African countries than Nigeria. No country. There's no one country that has done more for the entire continent than the country of Nigeria. None. And these are the ones that people are attacking. Here's what Nigeria has done for South Africa over the years. These same people that are attacking us. Look at this. Nigeria set up the National Committee Against Apartheid, the NACAP, in 1960. From 1966, Nigeria gave material and financial support to South Africa's fight for freedom. Nigeria's Prime Minister at the time, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, sent a letter to South Africa ANC militants on April 4th showing support for their cause. Nigeria set up a Southern African Relief Fund, the SARF, for the purpose of bringing relief material to South Africa during the apartheid. Nigerian civil servants, okay, hear me out. Nigerian civil servants back in the days and public officers donated 2% of their monthly salary to that fund, the SARF, for South Africa. Nigerian students skipped lunch to make donation. On June 1977, the total contribution to the fund that had been reached by that time was $10.5 million. Nigerian students skipped their lunch to donate to that fund for South Africa. The Nigerians boycotted the Olympic and Commonwealth Game in 1979 as a protest against the white people in South Africa, to support and stand in solidarity for the black South African back in the days. And it goes on and on and on. Nigeria has done this for South Africa. And these are the same people. Right now, as we speak, there's a xenophobia attack against Nigerians in South Africa. They did it in 2019, and they've continuously do it. So what is it about us that these two countries, Ghana, South Africa, feels the need to always kill our own people, and then they want to stretch out arms? South Africa is about to go bankrupt too. And we help them under the whole guise of Pan-Africanism. Let's all be divided. Let's all be united. See, they're quick to forget what they've done to us in the past. They're quick to play the whole let's be united, let's not be divided. But when they are killing our people, where are the citizens of South Africa right now protesting against what's going on by the Operation Dudula in their own country? Where are the citizens to show that they are not part of that? You see, it's one thing for you to say it's a rogue operation going on there. It's one thing to say that this militia vigilante group called Operation Dudula, spearheaded by this one woman who's got evil in her heart. It's one thing to say it's a rogue operation. The police is not doing anything. They're letting them go free willy, attacking people with impunity. And the citizens of South Africa are aware of this. There is no mass protest on the streets to condemn the actions of this vigilante group, this rogue vigilante group, to show that they're not in support of that. Where is that in South Africa? Because until you show me that, I feel that you are a sympathizer to that cause. Until you show me that, I feel that most South Africa support that whole thing going on. Because if you don't, you need to be on the streets condemning that. Same thing in Ghana. Where was that mass protest against that? Oh, no. All we heard in Ghana at the time was the president of Ghana coming up and giving lip service and saying, hey, we condemn this. The police were not dispersed to protect Nigerian property. But guess what happened when Nigerians retaliated against Ghana in 2019? Buhari, who was a past administration, sent military troops, sent police personnel to protect South African businesses in Nigeria. But there was none of that same privilege accorded to Nigerian businesses in Ghana. Do you understand what's going on here? So Nigerians can get attacked and killed in Ghana with impunity. The government gives lip service and say, oh, we condemn this, but they don't do anything about it. Their citizens don't come out in mass protest to speak against this whole thing. But they were quick to stretch their arm to get our energy source. They were quick to stretch their arm to get money. They were quick to stretch their arm to be part of our culture. They were quick to want to have us share our Afrobeat music with them. We hired them with Nollywood. We keep giving help to a people that kills our people. I have a problem with that. I got problems with that. I got problems with Ghana. I got problems with South Africa. The other one is Cameroon. That's another one. That's another one. So no, Nigeria should not help. Nigeria's got enough problems for herself. She's got a lot of things that she got to work on. The Nigerian citizens right now that are impoverished, that money should go to them. That money should go to them. They don't need to send money to a country who takes the time and any time, because I guarantee you, before the end of the year or before next year, we're going to find another xenophobia attack in Ghana against Nigeria. It's a known thing. See, Ghana has been doing this all the way back since 1969. The xenophobia attack against Nigeria has been going on, has started in 1969. This is not a new thing. See, they forget. See, in 1969, back when Ghana's economy was doing well, and Ghana was the most popular and strongest economy in Africa, they kicked millions of Nigerians out of their country. For no reason. Nigerians didn't do nothing. They just say, you know what, here, you got to go. This is what happened in 1969. And then later on, when Nigeria's economy blew up in the late 70s, 80s, of course, by then, Ghana's economy had already flatlined because they were no longer exporting cocoa, which was their biggest minerals they exported out to make money that gave them their riches in the early 50s and 60s. That whole thing crashed. And a lot of them began to move to Nigeria. They totally forget. So if Ghanaians are quick to forget the evil they've done against other people. So they all moved into Nigeria. And when Shehu Shagari decided to kick them all out, the same way they did us, now there's a gripe. Now there's, oh my God, Nigerians are evil. Nigerians are wicked. They say you're quick to forget. That's what happens with people that are dishing out evil stuff. You're quick to forget when you do it to somebody. And when they retaliate, you cry wolf. Like when Nigerians retaliated against South Africa for that whole thing. There were South Africans that were crying, oh my goodness, let's be peaceful. But where were you? Where were you? Where are you now? Against your countrymen. Attacking one of your fellow African citizens. Where are you? It's not enough for you to be on the internet. Talk about, oh, this is not good. You need to show your support. You need to show your support for your fellow men and condemn the attack. That's what people do. But no, they don't do that because, hey, it's Nigerians. Yeah, they can take it. Everybody else is dumping on there, so let's do the same thing. No, I said no. We're not supporting South Africa. We're not supporting Ghanaians because no sovereign nation, no first world nation like this country or England or any one of them in the West is going to, none of them, knowing fully well that their own people are mass killed in another country, their Congress or their elected body is going to send money to that person. It's not happening. It's not happening. You must have lost your mind. They don't work that way. And they remember the countries right now that are on a list, terror watch list in the United States, and they're not coming off. The countries right now that have done some egregious crime against this country, and they've been paying for it ever since. This country does not forgive so easily like we are so quick to forgive because we're under this banner like, oh, let's get along, kumbaya, and they're killing your people over there. So now it's karma against Ghana. Look at what's going on. Look at what's going on. And then you have our brothers here, African American brothers and sisters, who Ghana is trying to lure in, right? To lure into their mess while they know that they are on the verge of bankruptcy, and now they're bankrupt. Now, those ones that have gone there, they're all going to come back. They're not going to stay. Because what happens once you're bankrupt, the next thing is a civil unrest that goes on. That's a natural order of things. It's a civil unrest. Sri Lanka, you saw what happened with Sri Lanka last year. Was it last year? Yeah. You saw the civil unrest that happened over there. We don't pray for such things in any country, but that's usually the natural response. So now we're going to have our brothers and sisters, our citizens over there caught up because now they're all, this is why it's like, what do you divulge of understanding for? You're going to a country that's bankrupt. And then when the shit goes up the fan, you're going to be asking the administration to come and get you. Now you're going to be crying racism that they don't want to come get you. But you made that decision to go to a place that is not economically and is not culturally stable. After all the warnings, there's warnings here, you ignore that. You say, oh, they're hating Ghana. Dude, I don't have anything against Ghana. I do have a thing against the fact that they're killing my peoples over there. Outside of that, I don't have anything against Ghana. I have a thing against killing my peoples. And I don't look out for anyone that kills my peoples. I don't. Because it's become apparent that Ghana isn't trying to be united with Nigerians. They only are on the backs of Nigeria to get what they can get. And then later on, they'll show themselves the way they've shown themselves over the years. It's exactly the same old scheme. Okie doke. Let me ride on your back. Let me pretend that we're all one in this because I need you and I need your strength to be able to ride this thing. And then once I get to a point, I'm just going to kick you to the curb. That's exactly the same thing. And you got to learn from history, ladies and gentlemen. You got to learn from history. Because that's exactly what's going on. If no one respects your citizen, there's no need to send aid to them. There's no need to that. You got problems in your country. Use that money for that. See, I'm going to look out for my peoples and I'm going to look out for African Americans because African Americans are my people, believe it or not. At least as far as I know, they haven't been killing Nigerians in mass numbers in New York, in Texas. They haven't been doing that. They have been doing exactly what's going on in Ghana, in South Africa. They haven't done that. And until they do that, they're my peoples. And I'm going to look out for them. Even while some of them are just... You don't know who your friends and your enemies are. The lines are blurred for you. But I'm going to look out for them. But anyone that kills my people, I'm not looking out for you. I don't care how you're feeling about this. You can gripe what you want and vex. You will fix your fix at the end of the day. I don't care. So now that they're bankrupt, let them fall. Hit the like button, everyone. We have 458 people watching this. Come on, hit the like button. You can do better than that. Come on, bring them up. Bring him up. Bring him up. Hit the like button. Come on, hit the like button. We got 400. See, I'm going to be having these live shows as often as possible. As I said, this is time for me to just slow things down. This is the time for me to slow things down, to talk to my peoples and to talk and to give you facts. You understand that? This is the red room. If you're not ready for the red room, please go ahead and watch something else. Hit the like button, people. I see it going up. Thank you. Thank you for those of you that are hitting the like button. I see it going up. Let's keep going. Let's get to 100 at least. There's 477 people watching this. Let's get to 100. Get him up. Get him up. Get him up. It's going up. 73 right now. We got to get to 100. Let's do it. We can do it. There's 488 people watching this. I didn't think I was going to get 488 people. But apparently people are interested in this topic. So let's get him up. Get him up. Thank you to those of you that have liked the video. Thank you to everyone who supported the channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I truly, truly appreciate you all. You know, I truly, truly appreciate my people who's out there. Thank you, everyone. So, here's the part that we got to consider. See, Nigerians, I got to tell you this, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a Nigerian. Nigerians are truly, truly a lovely people. Truly a lovely people. See, I just came out with a video that I posted today for the Independence Day, and I talked about how Nigeria has over 400 ethnic groups. Just think about that for a second. Let me tell you what the white folks did to a lot of African countries, the ones that were colonized by France, Italy, Britain. Let me tell you what they did and what has plagued Africans and black people all over the world. You see, when the slavery thing was going on for years, because all the slaves came from Africa, so they knew about Africa. They knew about the tribes over there. They knew about all the people with their different cultures and different language, different ethnicity. They knew all of that. They gathered all that information. The many times they were going over there and getting, they knew that. When they went to the African chiefs, to the Arabs who sold most of the people here, they knew that. And so when England abolished slavery, and the United States also had abolished slavery, with all of that work, what of that slave labor, with all of that, they were still going through economic challenges. And they all gathered together and said, hey, rather than fight each other, because they were going to go to war with each other, basically just attack each other, rather than fight each other, let's take the fight to these guys. And so they met in Germany, Berlin. And they sat together. They didn't invite Africa over there because Africa was who they were going to go conquer. They sat together, and this was I think they met over a period of a couple of months in Berlin. And they decided to go ahead and just conquer Africa. And not only conquering Africa with weapons, which is the first gateway they knew they knew that they had to at least use weapons to get there, because they were going to get resistance from Africa and we're going to fight them with weapons. But they knew that the biggest conquest would be to set Africans against one another. They knew that. They knew that, at least, let me use Nigeria, for example. They knew that there was, over the years, they've seen tensions between the Igbos and the Yorubas and the Efik and the Tips or the Hausas, and they knew there was all this. They knew that. But Africa had managed to live in peace. Africans didn't go to war and kill each other, even because they stayed in their own boundaries. They stayed in their own areas. There was none of that crazy going on. But they came in and they said, hold on a second. Let's go ahead and add you guys together. They knew what they were doing. And forced people with different cultural backgrounds to live amongst each other. Because they knew it was going to create an everlasting tension. Because they weren't interested in seeing Africa, their continent, succeed. They weren't interested. Now, the remarkable thing that's happened in Nigeria is that even with all of that, Nigerians have found a way to live amongst themselves. There's tribal quarrels. Where is there no quarrel in the world? Where is there not? I mean, here in the United States, there's mass shooting going on here and there, and there's only like a couple of races of it. They don't have 400 tribes here. They don't have 400 tribes and ethnicity here, and there's mass shooting going all over the place. I mean, where is it? Go to England. There's stabbings going on over there, and they don't have 400 tribes over there. You have places like Nigeria with 400 plus ethnic groups. And after that whole civil war that happened in 1967, Nigerians have maintained, there hasn't been any crazy stuff like that happen after. And that is a remarkable thing, because Africans are natural good people. Yes, not all Africans have fought wars against each other, and they fought battles over the years. I mean, these people have been ruling for like 3,000-4,000 years. Come on now. There's going to be dispute, but it hasn't been on the level that we've seen it against in the West, just going up and just taking people's stuff. It doesn't mean that. People have stayed in their own corners. So they merged us together, figure it out. And there's been tension ever since. And even with that tension, Nigerians have managed to operate. It hasn't been easy. There's still tension. But the respect for human lives by Nigerians and many other African countries have helped them to maintain that continent from really going into destruction. That is a good thing. And it's sad to now see that we have citizens like Ghanaians and South Africa attacking one of their own in their own continent. Why can't we just be like the Europeans and say, hey, let's take the fight to someone else. Let's not fight each other. I mean, this is what they did, and it conquered us because we won't stand together. You find them attacking us over there. And then you stretch your arm and say, hey, give me some bread, help me. And we're still providing them electricity, for God's sakes. Because we're good people. But sometimes people take your weakness and your kindness for weakness. They take it for weakness. And they say, hey, he's not going to fight back. He's always kind. He's always quick to forgive me. Let's go ahead and keep slapping him. So I think we need to get to a place where we need to recognize who our enemies are and who our friends are. See, that's a clear thing that the West knows. They know who their allies are, who their enemies are. Every administration that comes through the United States every year maintains that list of people who are friends and who are foes. They know this. They don't play around with this. I mean, you guys, if you live in the United States, for those of you that live in the United States like I do, or even in England, you know what I'm talking about. Every president has come and have to defend their allies and have always had to fight their enemies. They don't compromise with that. Because they know they have a clear line. It's not blurry for them. They know who their enemies are. And anyone that goes with their enemy is enemy of their enemies too. They don't play around with that. Because you have to protect your citizens and your lives of your citizens. You're not just going to be out there making yourself look stupid. So I say let Ghana fall. I say let them fall. Do you understand what I'm saying? I say let them fall. I say if South Africa goes through the issue tomorrow, I don't pray that they go through the issue. I don't pray that if they go through it, I say let them go through it. Nigeria's got its own problems. You can't be, just like it's a statement they use in this country, you can't be the police of everyone. You can't police the world. You got to take care of your own. Okay? Now, it'll be a different situation if we find our brothers and sisters in Ghana or anywhere in the country and they are suffering. We help them. As long as they're not killing us in the streets. You understand that? It's a human part of us for us to help those who are in need. It's a part of us as humans. As long as they're not killing your people on the streets. Why? And we've got all these other countries that love us in Africa. Do you understand? Believe it or not. Out of these three, the rest of Africa loves us. We should devote our time and attention to those people. But if you're killing us, that should be the end. That should be it. If any administration, that should be like, listen, we're cutting you off. Because you kill Nigerians. You can't just allow your peoples. And that is a problem with our leaders. You know, this is the part that we need to just hold them responsible. That is the problem with our leaders over there. Do you understand that? Is you watch your people die on the street and you just say, hey, you know, and you make excuses and you have Nigerians, which is a part. You guys know how I feel about those Nigerians. You guys know about what I'm about to say. You know what I'm about to say. The ones that say, oh, they were over there committing crimes. That's why they got it. And can you imagine that? Nonsense. When has that justified someone killing another person? When has someone committing a crime, even when that is not even all true in most cases? But let's just indulge for a second. When has that justified someone being killed? Because hey, here's the reality of that. For those Ghanaians that are just doing that with impunity, and those South Africans that are doing that with impunity in their country, how would they feel if in the country they live in the United States, did exactly the same thing to their own citizens? You see, this country will never do that. You get what I'm saying? This country will never do that. But how will you feel? How would they feel if the citizens here begin to take it out on South Africans in mass numbers? They'll call it a genocide. They'll call it a crime against humanity. That's exactly what they'll call it. But it's happening in their countries. And they don't care. They're like, oh, never mind. Leave it alone. It's no big deal. No. I said let them fall. Put them up. Get the likes up. Get them up. Let's get the likes up, please. There's 519 people watching this. Get them up. Get them up. Get them up. Get them up. You get what I'm saying? You know, I'm a peacemaker. I'm all about peace, but I'm not about you throwing stone and hiding your hands. I'm not for that. You get what I mean? I'm not for you throwing stones and then hide your hands. No. I'm an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of guy. I'm not the guy that you slap and I turn the other cheek. I don't. You slap me, you best believe you're going to be ending up in the hospital. I'm not the one. Because I'm a very peaceful person. You know, I'm a very peaceful until you get me activated. You're going to find out that I was the wrong person. Most people don't mess with me. Most people just don't do it. They don't do it. But I'm just saying is that you can't go around thinking and be weak, thinking that your oppressor is going to let go because you haven't challenged them or her the entire time they've oppressed you over the years. They don't. That's not how bullies work. That's not how bullies work. So we haven't forgotten. We haven't forgotten the issues that have happened. Can you imagine this stuff was happening right in the middle of a pandemic? They were attacking us when everybody else was watching their health. The coronavirus was all over the place. These guys were doing over there mass xenophobia against Nigerians. In South Africa right now, they're using the cover-up, the Operation Dudula. They're using the cover-up. This is always the cover-up, that these are illegals in their country and they're bringing drugs to their country. That's not true. And in that documentary, when you go watch it, you'll find that they were attacking South African citizens, people that came to that country, naturalized in that country. They were either Zimbabweans, Nigerians. They have their paper. They didn't care. And they were doing it with impunity. They're doing that right now. Right now, as we speak. They're doing that right now. And what's bad is now the so-called vigilante militia group, which is a terrorist organization, by the way, because a terrorist is someone who has not been appointed. A terrorist group is someone who has not been appointed or delegated by the official arm of a government in a country that is now going rogue to attack a people. That is the definition of a terrorist. And unless South Africa wants to tell me that these groups are recognized by the government, which I don't think they claim them, that is a terrorist organization. The Operation Dudula in South Africa right now. But where are the people out there outraged, protesting in the streets? And they're attacking anyone that they don't think is a full-blown South African. Tell you to get out. And they're killing people, they're injuring, they're destroying businesses, their livelihood, they just, whatever, with impunity. And the police is just letting them do it. Same thing, Ghana. They just let them do it. No, I don't think so. So I hate that they're going through a bankruptcy. I hate that Ghana is bankrupt. But I say let them go through it. I say Nigeria should not send the money to them. Worry about what's going on in your country. I say Nigeria needs to remember the death, and they need to, the bloods of Nigerians that they spilled in their streets for these many years, and none of them have been attacked in Nigeria. I said those bloods of those Nigerians in the streets are crying out. They don't get any help. I'm not with this whole coalition. Not with that. I'm not with that. That's why they're trying to get our Afrobeat. You see, they always try to ride on our back. They want our Afrobeat song. That they spit on our face. They insult us with impunity. They insult us all the time, but they want our music. They want our culture. They want us to share this whole thing with them. I don't think so. Go figure yourself out. He who wants to be a friend should show himself or herself friendly. That's what the good book says. You want to be friends? Show yourself friendly. But if you're going to come in as an enemy and hit me whenever you feel like it and then cry wolf when you're in need because you've forgotten what you did the year prior, it's not going to work. Yeah, I'm looking at some of your comments right now. And that's the part that I get that bothers me. The white folks in South Africa who is the cause of most of their problems. They don't touch those people. See, that's that cowardice way. You don't touch those ones. Right? You take it out on people that are working to build your economy, people who rightfully have a place in that place. Your own black brothers and sisters. That's who you take it out on. Now, I'm not for violence. I don't think anyone should be attacked in South Africa. I don't think anyone should ever be hurt, no matter what. There are ways for you to do these things. It's called the justice system. You get what I'm saying? If you have a gripe again about certain dispute, there's a justice system in every country. It's in South Africa, it's in Nigeria, it's in this country, it's all over the place. You take your gripe to your justice system and you iron that whole thing out in court. You don't take it upon yourself to be attacking citizens. But they don't do that. They attack their very own black people. And on top of it, I just read for you all what Nigerians did for South Africa during the apartheid. They forgot that. And if the ones that are born today don't remember that, because it wasn't that long ago, by the way. Okay? It was like 42 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. The old ones should teach the young ones. So if the young ones have lost their mind, they don't know what happened 40 years, maybe they're 22, you're 20, the old ones should teach the young ones because it wasn't that long ago. Do you get what I mean? And I'm very, very disappointed in South Africa. Very, very disappointed. I'm disappointed in Ghana, obviously. And I think that because of all of these hate against one country, this is why the Creator has endowed Nigerians with the gifts that Nigerians have. Nigerians are selling with all of this stuff. Imagine that's it. Imagine that for a second. With all of the attacks in Africa, here in the West, from all sides, Nigerians are the ones that everyone's talking about. You don't need a rocket scientist or be a genius to know that these are special people and God is with them. Because and we're not perfect, but we're not malicious. We're not evil intent. We don't have an evil spirit. We don't have that. Do you get what I mean? And with all of this, there's all these ripple effects of success going on the continent, in Nigeria, also Nigerians in this country, all over the place. They're just breaking barriers. They're just doing their thing. With all of that, and here's another caveat on this. We're about to get into, in the next 20 years. I think 20 years, right? Yeah. Nigerians are going to be the third largest country in the world. Third largest. You think that they are going to be significant in the future? You think that if your strategy is to attack Nigerians, you think your strategy is going to work all the way into the future? It's not. Because believe it or not, there's no way, mathematically, socially, economically, and branding wise, there's no way these two countries, Ghana or South Africa, will ever match Nigeria. There's no way. It's not, the math is not there. The math is not there. There's no way. I mean, Ghana is 32 million. Nigeria is right now 200. It's like 3 times the size. There's no way. South Africa is, there's no way. It's not a time for us to fight. It's a time for us to bound together, work together, build with each other. Understand our strengths. Understand that we are strong together. Understand that we can pull from each other. And if there's rogue people in your country that decide to do things, then the citizens of this country, majority of those citizens should condemn that action. publicly, that would signify to the world that you're not with that. But when you're quiet and silent on that, it makes people begin to derive all kind of opinions about that. People like myself, who's like, look, where are these people there? So we should work together. But until I see that, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. You get what I mean? I'm not a fan. Until I see all of that. Because one thing I don't do is fool myself in thinking someone loves me. You just got to show me one time who you are. And I'm just going to this is one time you got to show me. Just one time. I'm like, all right, good. They say, believe a person when they show you who they are the first time. Believe them. The first time, believe it. Just believe it. I don't fool myself. And I am not I don't believe that these two countries see themselves as allies to Nigeria. I don't believe it. Not with the fact that they don't see and they don't condemn the actions that are going on in their country against other citizens. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have for you guys. That's it. I'm going to have a series of these videos and have a way to just engage with you guys. I appreciate every one of you that showed up. Thank you for watching. Thanks to my moderators for really helping to police the chats. Thank you to every one of you that have supported the channel. I appreciate you all. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the Independence Day that's going on today. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.